So, turn all self-condemnation into self-praise and grace. I need you to understand one thing. Heaven can be equated to thoughts that are above you, and hell can be equated to thoughts that are beneath you. That's a bar, write that down. And one of the thoughts that are beneath you is self-condemnation. Self-condemnation is self-beratement. It's when you beat yourself up internally. So fucking stupid. What are you thinking? Why did you say that? Why did you do this? Why didn't you do this? What's wrong with you? Why always you? How can you get it right? You're such a screw up. Da 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 da. What are you thinking? That particular line of thinking of self-condemnation is a very dangerous line of thinking. And the truth of the matter is, I think this is the true devil in people's lives, if I do say so myself, because typically, as we know, people externalize the devil. And when you begin to externalize the devil, then you separate yourself from having any capability of having power over the devil. Because the only way that we can have power over somebody that's externalized from us is by physical force. And let's be real, you ain't beating the devil, nigga. Like that's just not, you know what I'm saying? You're just not doing that physically. But once you begin to internalize the devil, understanding that devil is a representation of polarity within you, then now you're in a capability where you can actually begin to change things. And I think the true devil is self-condemnation, because this is what the devil feeds on. This is what adversity feeds on. Remember, when I say the devil, I'm referring to adversity. Because self-condemnation, like I said, you're doing nothing more than beating yourself up. And when you're beating yourself up internally, you do nothing more than set up the universe to then beat you up externally to the same degree. And then you're shocked as to why things aren't going the way that you want. Is because your mind isn't ordered in a way that it should be. Things are against you because you're not even on your own side. You're not on your own side because you like that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. But like I said, if you're not on your own side, then who could possibly be on your side? Because self-condemnation, think about it, it's a particular degree of disharmony internally. That's what it truly is. It's conflict internally. We run into this conflict internally and then we're shocked as to why things seem to be against us. They're against us because we're in a disharmonious state of consciousness. We're in conflict internally. We're in conflict internally, but we seek harmony externally. That doesn't make sense. That's like saying, I want a steak, but you're going to order a fish, a salmon. That doesn't make any particular sense at all. And the devil feeds on self-condemnation, because self-condemnation, it's an addictive feeling. Has it ever conceptualized to you that you might be addicted to pain? And I don't mean that in a masochistic way. I think about this in a human way, to which once we begin to experience a certain degree of emotion repeated again and again and again and again and again, whether negative or positive, we begin to feed off it. And because we begin to feed off it, it becomes our source of nutrient. And because it's our source of nutrient, we seek it no matter what. Meaning we will even perpetually create circumstances just so we can create that emotion, just so we can feed our own terrible addiction to pain. And one of them is self-condemnation, because like I said, disharmony and conflict internally that then reflects externally. Because the truth of the matter is, the very thing that you're seeking outside of you is what you need to create inside of you. And that's a bar, write that down. Self-praise and grace is the only way to mitigate self-condemnation. How often do you praise yourself? And I truly mean this. See, even the idea, this is the funny thing about the collective consciousness. Understand that most of the collective consciousness resides somewhere between anger and fear. They exist on the lower level vibrational emotions. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way or a spiritual egotistical way. Please don't fall into that. I mean this in a way for you to truly understand that some of the paradigms and beliefs that we hold in the collective consciousness are just simply there to perpetuate itself. So when we talk about the concept of me saying, how often do you praise yourself? Truly, that's probably something you do rarely. Because the concept of praising yourself, it feels egotistical, it feels wrong, you feel arrogant. Why? Why are you praising yourself? But it's so normally accepted for us to talk crazy to ourselves. It's so normal for us to tear ourselves down and boost ourselves up. When you begin to boost yourself up internally, all of a sudden you're an arrogant asshole. But when you're tearing yourself down, oh, there. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. And it's actually that collective idea that keeps us from praising ourselves and giving ourselves grace. Because when we feel like we've missed the mark, when we feel like we've done wrong, when we feel like we haven't attained what it is that we want, we feel the only way that we can truly give ourselves what we really deserve is self-condemnation instead of grace. People seek grace from God, but they don't give themselves grace. People seek praise from people outside of them, but they won't give themselves praise. understanding that nothing external takes place without something internal to reflect it. God will only give you grace when you give yourself grace. Those people around you only begin to praise you once you begin to praise yourself. People will stop condemning you, or people will start being in conflict, or conditions or circumstances and event will start reflecting disharmony and conflict when you're no longer condemning yourself internally. All self-condemnation must be turned into self-praise. So when you've been saying, fuck, how don't you still have a job yet? Why don't you still have that promotion? You're making the same amount of money. What's wrong with you? Why can't you figure it out? You know, You're not in a relationship. You know you need to get married. You know your mom's waiting for you to get married. When you're in that particular line of self-condemnation, you need to stop that immediately and switch it to self-praise and grace. As you can see, all of these kind of points about how to make the devil obey you, they all trickle onto each other. It's a very lovely structure in this video, don't you think? Speaking of which, if you're an entrepreneur that has already made millions, you have everything in place, everything that should work, team, skills, knowledge, structure, but you're still stuck at the same multi-million-dollar revenue ceiling, then it's because whether you realize this or not, you have a subconscious block. And check the link in the description. You can apply to work with me in the same way my other clientele who go through the same problems do.
3 months into working with Nero, that company now last month did $120,000.
Morning, I had a call with my spiritual coach, Nero, and it's doing great. You know, we did almost 400K yesterday.
Later, now I've been making just over 100,000 per month. I had 100K a month.
That was what allowed me to be able to scale my business past 80 grand a month, and now on a 7-figure run rate for a year.
I fucked with you real bad.
What?
Every time I have become aware of something going on in my life/mind, I question it to get past it. And if I can't find the answer at the moment, here you go with the video the same day or a couple of days later, breaking down my exact questions, or maybe a video you did a year ago was the first video I see when I open YouTube. Love and appreciate you.
Love straight back to you then.
Come on, boy.
Love straight back to you, that's real. People ask me for videos that I already made a year ago.
I guess I never saw it. Let's remake them.
Yeah.
That song is just in my head, man. So
Oh, CeeLo Green had bare hits. He's got that other one. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Do I even know that one?
Bright lights. Yeah, you're lacking.
Nero, you are phenomenal.
Oh,
Is everyone using this word?
Called me back.
You spoke for 30 seconds and it was enough. She basically said your videos don't need to be longer than 30 seconds. Like, it speaks volumes. Every time I watch you, I feel like, okay, it's enough. The value is so much, but each drop is just new dimensions. Shout out to you. I'm really proud of myself that I aligned with the right energy to be in this space with y'all.
That's so sweet.
Y'all.
That's so sweet. Thank you. We both thank you very much. But simultaneously, if you're in this space, then you're either a spiritual individual, an intellectual individual, a degenerate, or incredibly hilarious. I think that's like the over-encompassing factors of this channel, don't you think?
Don't involve me in this PR mess. Man called them potential degenerates.
Hey, we are who we are.
Yeah.
We are who we are.
Oh man, I have Chick-fil-A sauce you need to order some.
There we go.
You know what though? Don't sleep on Wendy's sauce.
Aren't you supposed to be on a diet?
I am.
What type of diet is this?
I am on a diet.
What
It's
type
not, it's not even a diet. It's just my lifestyle.
Okay.
It's just me.
Oh,
now.
you're one of them diet niggas that's like, it's not a diet, it's just a lifestyle.
It's just
It's like,
a lifestyle.
it's like when
now.
religious people are like, no, it's not religion, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Bro,
Yeah.
you have to shift identity. That old me that you knew yesterday. I'm
It's not you, yeah?
It's not me.
It's not
I don't
you,
know
yeah?
who that was.
Okay, good.
And Chick-fil-A sauce in moderation. Just like if you drink too much water, it could kill you. Small moderation, you know what I'm saying? Small moderation.
AJ knowledge. AJ knowledge. AJ knowledge.
They're saying the Chick-fil-A sauce could come today between 6 and 10. You reckon Amazon's got it like that?
I reckon they got it like that.
I
reckon they got it like that.
See you arrive at 10.
Any other comments before I do this last part? Devices on the dash.
Hold up.
Hold my phone.
Waleed. Nero and AJ.
Hello.
Not too much on the late 1900s, lol. I'm a 90s baby. And we went outside, wrote letters.
Roll letters is a drag.
And
You
used
weren't-
a house phone, lol.
House phone.
House phone's peaks though.
House phone.
But to be honest, I grew up using the house phone.
That's a landline, but you still had like your own, like we still had our own phones. That idea is normal. I'm talking about you're at school, a ting calls you, your mom answers, and she's like, and your mom's gotta be like, yo,
Fairs.
nah, that's crazy. Wrote letters, you're dragging it.
Wrote letters.
I don't believe they were writing letters in the 90s. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
They said none of our dirty deeds got aired because of no phones. Dirty deeds.
You're so lucky. You're so lucky.
Now anything you do is recorded.
I envy that. Yeah, exactly.
Dumb or not, lol. Just know we had a great time. Sincerely, a 90s baby. Much love from Texas.
Nah, I know you had a great time.
90s.
90s. I know you had a great time. Texas as well. You know, Sundays on Sunday, when I was in Houston, apparently Sunday was known as Fun Day. That was an extra clubbing day there. So I can,
They
Lord,
were clubbing
On a
on
Sunday.
Sundays.
yeah.
My God, the
Sunday
Lord's
fun
Day.
On the Lord's Day, can you imagine? Heathens. All of you, heathens.
Oh gosh.
That's crazy. I don't believe they're writing letters though.
No,
Sorry.
letters is too
You're pranking us.
because letters that.
As in, you're after. No.
I don't believe that, bro.
No, I don't believe that either.
Just use the house phone, innit?
Yeah, just use the house phone. There's no way you spraying the perfume as well. What's this, like medieval times someone's going to war? Come on, man. What were you doing? See, that's when you wrote a letter. That made sense.
Must have been locked up.
Can you imagine? Any other ones?
Every time I watch your videos, it correlates with my current life situation. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people say this.
That's real. That's real.
a lot
That's
of people
real.
say this.
That's real.
That's it.
Perfect. Now, I don't think there's a human being that's never not dealt with the unfortunate conditions of self-doubt and overthinking. And most human beings feel as if they could just manage to be able to navigate self-doubt and overthinking, that they would have the capability of transcending their limitations and attain whatever it is that they seek to materialize, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a career promotion, whether that's a job, whether it's a career opportunity, whether that's a relationship, a certain amount of money in their business. Oftentimes, the things that we feel as if holds us back is self-doubt and overthinking. Now, self-doubt and overthinking are the devices of the desperate devil. Now, like I said, in this video, primarily, I've shown you nothing more than how to make the devil obey you. Now, what you don't realize is that self-doubt and overthinking are actually your best friends. They're actually amazing things. Human beings have this unfortunate tendency to miscategorize things because they're lacking the awareness of what these things actually mean on a metaphysical level. Now, one of the things, self-doubt, and the second thing, overthinking, are conceptualized as bad things. Whenever we begin to doubt ourselves, whenever we begin to overthink, we see it as a bad thing. And based upon that perception, I always say your perception directly equates to your projection. The way that you perceive things leads to a projection of how you experience things, because typically how you look at life is how life looks at you, because you and life are one. So when you're looking at life, you're truly looking at yourself. So the perception that you have, the tints through which you see life, is ultimately how that reflects back to you. And when you begin to see self-doubt and overthinking as a terrible, bad thing, based upon that perception, it leads to a distortion in the actual experience. When the true alchemist knows that life has no meaning. Life has no meaning. This isn't to say that life is valueless. That's idiotic. But life has no meaning simply means that as we begin to transcend this third dimensional realm, we step into a concept of oneness. We've all heard this concept in spirituality in terms of oneness. And it's because it's only within this third dimensional realm that we adhere to a law called polarity. Polarity is labels. Remember I said earlier, labels have meanings and meanings have emotion. So when we begin to label something negatively, the meaning within that has an emotion that we call bad. And emotion is energy in motion that emits a signature that we call a vibration that compounds into a frequency and it materializes into a reality. So when we begin to self-doubt and you're like, oh, you can't do it, it's not going to work for you. Or you're overthinking, you're like, I don't know what to do, which one, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? How am I going to do this? Once you begin to experience that, you think it's a sign of weakness. But really and truly, it's the device of a desperate devil. Now, like I said, once we begin to relinquish from the typical tendency on externalizing the devil, that begins to separate you from having capability of having power over the devil, and you internalize it, realizing it's just an adverse degree of polarity within you. Once you begin to realize that self-doubt and overthinking are devices of a desperate devil, you only begin to self-doubt yourself. You only begin to overthink just before transformation. Think about it. When you got no motion and nothing is changing, nothing is changing, do you doubt yourself? No. Do you begin to overthink? What's there to overthink about? Nothing's changing. When you haven't made a step in the direction to materialize what it is that you want, do you begin to doubt yourself? No. Do you begin to overthink? No, because there's nothing to self-doubt, there's nothing to overthink about. So what you have to come to a realization of metaphysically is that the devil, that adverse aspect of consciousness within you, only begins to deploy the devices of self-doubt and overthinking right before you're about to transform, because it begins to become desperate at the potentiality of you shifting from one frequency to another. This whole time you've been taught that self-doubt and overthinking is a bad thing. But what if it's a good thing? Because if it's a good thing, then you'd perceive it as a good thing and then you'd project as a good thing. Instead of a distortion, you'd clear it up. And then something that the devil has been using against people for God knows how long, since the beginning of time, is something that actually serves you now. Because now once you begin to self-doubt, you're like, you're getting desperate. Once you begin to overthink, you're like, you're getting desperate. Which almost reinforces a particular degree of certainty and conviction. And that certainty and conviction reinforced within you now strengthens the frequency that you're moving at, which then does nothing more than force the devil to continuously obey you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you made the devil obey you.